Welcome to the Buddycheck workshop. This is the plan for today's session. We will briefly talk what Buddycheck is, what function it does, and where it fits within the group projects. And we will set it up as a staff member, and you will see how easy it is and how intuitive the tool is. And then we will participate as a student to see how it looks from the student perspective. And we will just go over the support options that are available if you want to use it in your course. Group work and collaboration is a very important 21st century skill and an industry requirement in many workplaces. And we would want to teach our students to participate in the teams, in the group projects productively, and to receive and give feedback professionally as well. And Buddycheck is a tool for collecting student responses on the contribution of a group project. So this is a screenshot from Buddycheck, and you will see, so the student will have to rate themselves and their team members based on this criteria, and the criteria are fully customizable and on these levels of achievement. It can be used formatively to identify dysfunctional groups and for course coordinators to order support. And in fact, we do recommend using Buddycheck if you have a group project. Even if there are no marks associated with it, that's okay. Just use it formatively to support your students. And summatively, to generate a mark based on student individual contributions to make the assessment equitable. Generally, the workflow of the group project is as follows. So there is a project task to create a presentation, or in case of engineering courses, to create a physical artifact. So the task is given and the groups are formed. It can be a self-enroll in most of the cases, or can be like instructors can enroll the students. Then the group dynamic starts to form as the team members start to interact within each other within the groups, arrange the meetings, attend or not attend the meetings, do some work. And then it's the time to do peer evaluation, again, either formatively or summatively. And it's an opportunity for the students to flag their concerns and share their thoughts, what's happening within the group, and an opportunity for the course coordinator to get that feedback and offer some support strategies. And then this hopefully will improve the group dynamics. Students don't like teamwork because it requires collaboration, cooperation, compromising. And it's difficult things to master, but we do want to teach our students to work within the groups, and UQ policies support this path. So I will send the slide deck to you, so you'll have the links to all the assessments. And this is a resource that you might want to give to your students. This is an edit course of how to work professionally and productively within a group. So there are resources that will support your students and you as well as course coordinators to within the group projects. Okay. This is pretty much it. So let's jump straight into creating evaluations. Can you please go to Blackboard? I will send the link in the chat. And each one of you has been given a training course, which is called Buddycheck. And there is a number next to it. So let's first log into Blackboard, and in the search bar, type Buddy. And I will give everyone a couple of minutes to do that. We do need everyone to be in the course, and Nathan will help me. If you can't find the training course, please send your UQ username in the chat, and Nathan will find your training course for you. So we'll log into Blackboard. and searching for a course which is called Buddy and a number next to it. It won't have your name, but it will have a number 1, 2, 3, etc. And when you've done that, may I please have a thumb up? Just indicating that you located your course. All good. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Ree. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Jessica. And Jennifer as well. So we'll wait for everyone to get into their course. So that's okay. We can wait until you find it. Erin, Nathan, can you give the course to Erin, please? Yep.
Yeah, I'm just getting one for Sarah at the moment.
Yeah, lovely. Right. I'll get them, Erin. If you found your course, can you please bear with us for a couple of more minutes until we get everyone in?
Sorry, Helen, I had to step away for a moment and I missed those instructions.
Yes, so if you can log into Blackboard.
Yep, I'm in there.
Lovely, and type Buddy in the
Okay, thank
search
you.
bar. And you will find.
Excellent.
Yeah, did you
Right.
find it first?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And okay. Just one more second. Nathan, if you can, like the 47 should be right. Or created like 50 of them, like 47 should be. Yeah, lovely. Erin, you're in, right? Beautiful. All right, we're all in. Lovely. Okay, I'm jumping in number 50. Nathan, thank you very much. You're very welcome to stay. We're all in, so if you need to go, we will understand that. Okay, so we are in the training course. And let's go to assessment. And so in the training course, so let's go to assessment. And let's go to the folder. As per like UQ policy, we would have like policy recommendations. We would normally have the snippet of the assessment summary at the top and one folder for each piece of assessment. And let's go to Planet report with Buddycheck peer evaluation. Sorry. The one, yeah, I need to be here. And so we would already have a submission link created for the group project result submission. Maybe it's like a presentation, PowerPoint, or a video, etc. And let's go to tools, more tools, and let's click on Buddycheck. While you're doing that, I will be sending a file in the chat with all the instructions. A second, here we go. In that file, which is now in the chat, if you can grab, I'll open it. Bring it over. Yeah. So if you can grab this text, the first one, simple instructions for learn.uq. So we need this text. And we're pasting it in the chat. And we keep formatting. And we can add the title as Buddycheck peer evaluation. You can, if you're doing it, we do recommend having it, if practical, twice. Again, formative and summative. You can write Buddycheck peer evaluation formative. And then the second one will be summative. And click submit. Veronica, you just joined. So we are in Blackboard and you should have a training course if you type Buddy.
Sorry, Helen, I need to double task and everything, so I will catch up on the recording
Right.
at the time.
That's okay. That's all good. Yeah. So, right. All good. So where were we? We were here. Right. Did anyone create the link? All good?
Sorry, Helen, could you just go back a step?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think I've missed something here.
Yeah, lovely. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
see you back here.
So we were in assessment. We were in the folder, in the peer evaluation folder, and we would just go tools, more tools, Buddycheck.
Yep, I'm in there. Yep.
Yep, lovely. And then I send a file so you can copy paste the instructions in the text field, or for now, just you can click submit.
Okay.
That's fine. Right, let me do it again. So in the assessment folder, you will go tools, more tools, Buddycheck. Can I very quickly have a show of hands to see if you've created the Buddycheck link? Yep, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Judith. I can wait a sec. So we were in the assessment, we were going tools, more tools, Buddycheck. Right. Yep. Thank you, Sarah. Lovely. Before we click on the link, let's take one step back and let's create groups. So can we go to users and groups? And can we expand that? And can we go to groups? And with the groups, we recommend, I've got the folder, but I can't seem to see the link below. Yes, so Sarah, you won't see the Buddycheck link because we are creating it. So if you go, just give me a sec, guys. So if you go here and if you click tools, more tools, Buddycheck, and just click submit, don't bother about instructions. I'm done that. Lovely. Yeah, thank you. Cool. Right, so we were in groups. Because it's a group project, we do need groups. So let's go again in the course management in the black menu. So you go to users and groups, and we need to create a group set. If you can watch me doing that first, and then we will do that together. So we are creating the group set, and we are creating manual enroll. And we will just type Buddycheck group set. I'll go over it again in just a sec. And we will see the number of groups, we will say 3 groups, and we will click submit. And then the 3 groups will be created, and we will add users to each of the groups by just pretty much clicking the couple of them in one group and another. Okay, let's now do it together with me. So let me delete the ones that I've created. And I'll create it again. Okay, so we are in users and groups. We will create not single groups, but group set, and I'll explain why. And we will do manual enroll. And the type would be Buddycheck group set, the title. Don't worry about anything. Scroll all the way down. And number of groups, let's do 3. And let's click submit. And in the group set, let's add users. Just click on add users. And let's do the ones that are called NK buddies. So let's do the 3 users. Just check the checkboxes and click submit. That will be in the first group. Then let's add the other 3 NKs to the second group. And let's add students to the third group. Another 30 seconds. And can I then ask for another confirmation that you've done that? Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ree. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Miranda. Lovely. Thank you, Aaron. Beautiful. Okay. And then let's click submit. And we have our groups within a group set. Why are we creating group set? First, it's easier. You create group set and heaps of groups are there. Second, so Sarah's asking, at a moment, would we discuss whether random assignment performs well in Buddycheck? Sorry, are you mean in creating groups, random enrollment? Is this what you mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what kind of, is the manual enroll, self-enroll, random enroll, or manual enroll. Everything works in Buddycheck, same way. Why are we manual enrolling? Just for the training purposes. And just make sure that certain students, like I just need certain students to be in certain groups. Yeah, so any variation will work. There are they. I say group, not group set. Good, thanks. Miranda, sorry, can you ask a question again? So I say group, not group set. Does this matter?
It just says Buddycheck group 1, Buddycheck group 2, rather than Buddycheck group
That's
set.
okay. Yeah, I just called it.
Oh,
Buddy.
all right.
Doesn't matter. Yes, of course. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. In actual course, usually, I believe. Oh, sorry, I didn't need to import. You would create. Sorry. Yeah. So you would normally create self-enroll groups. So you will give student agency to pick up their own groups and enroll in those groups. Yeah. Okay, so the groups are there. We can then navigate back to our assessment and the Buddycheck link that we've created. So, and let's click on the link. So we created groups and we're getting to Buddycheck. If you're doing it the first time, in a course, you will just need to click activate Buddycheck for this course. And then you will click create evaluation, big blue button. The name of evaluation, let's make it, normally it would be the name of the group project. So let me call just group project, here, evaluation. Again, let's call it summative. Formative. You would probably not have this evaluation template after you've created at least one assessment in Buddycheck. You will have this evaluation template with all the evaluations that you've created, which is pretty cool. If you're using the same evaluation formatively, summatively, you don't have to create it once again. Just click on the template and it will bring all the settings and all the questions. Because probably you haven't created anything yet, so you won't have this option. So, and let's do Likert scale and let's click continue. Okay. The first thing we need to do is to select the group set. So you have, again, options, group sets or groups, but we didn't create any, and group set is easier. So we'll just click groups, Buddycheck group set. Just check the checkbox. Evaluation title stays the same. Start date, can you please do it yesterday? Because we will need, so that will be the 8th, or anything in the past. One second. And the end date, just leave it as is. Introduction, in that Word document, you will have a simple introduction. You can copy paste that. And if it is a formative, I would add something along those lines that there are no, in your actual course, there are no marks associated with this evaluation. This is an opportunity to, flag or raise any concerns or anything along those lines. Let's not do this now, just for the sake of time, but in the actual evaluation, you will say that. And if it's formative, if it's summative, then you will say the mark may affect your overall group project mark. Okay. There are options Likert and points division. So points division is where you will have, you can watch what I'm doing, and so normally it defaults to 100 points, but you can make it like 1,000. So what basically happens, so the students are given 100 points, and they will need to divide this 100 points between the group members, depending on their share of their contributions. And this countdown here tells you how many you still have to allocate, or if you went overboard. So this is divided points. This is the less popular version than Likert, because with Likert, so you don't have to take some points from someone to give it to someone else. So you rate everyone as per the criteria, while points division is like it's a zero-sum game. So you have to take something from someone to give it to another person. So let's do Likert. The 3 standard options are 0, 3, 0, 5, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 9. And the default being 1 to 5 has been the most popular. And this is the library of questions that are already there. If you don't need any of them, you can remove. If you want to create new, we can create new. So there are 2 types of questions here. One's called team question, and you can always click on the preview button and see what the question looks like. Team questions are basically screening questions. and where the students have to agree or disagree with the statements. They don't have any scores, as you can see, associated, so they're not a part of the evaluation. I mean, they're part in terms of just screening questions. You don't have to have them. So if you don't want them, so you can click on delete, and you can always edit everything. And there are peer questions where the students will actually have to rate themselves and other team members based on this criteria and these levels of achievement. So what we'll do now, I'll give you a couple of minutes, just play with it, remove. So I will recommend keeping one team question and 2 peer questions and removing the rest, because we will be doing the evaluation as a student. And while we are doing that, I can be talking. So with the peer question, so I'll remove the team conflict. It's a bit too long. I don't need it. Do I want the keeping team on track? Yep, I probably would want that. When you're editing questions, the 2 options I would want to draw your attention to is motivation. It's basically an explanation of scores. When student will click on a rating, this pop-up box appears, and this gives them the opportunity to explain why they're rating someone a 5 or a 1. And it's especially important if they're giving someone a low rating. And this explanation, if you don't want it, you can disable it. It's enabled by default. And you can even make it mandatory. So the students will not be able to move to the next question until they write all the explanations. So I will keep for one of my questions this enabled and even mandatory.
Sorry, can I just ask a question, Helen? If you make it
Absolutely.
mandatory, is that for all scores, or can you just say it's mandatory if they give them a 1 or a low score?
No, good question, and got to ask it. No, for all the scores, it's for question. So you can't say, yeah, if you're giving it a 1, you have to motivate. No, it's for the whole question. And you just can write in the introduction to the peer evaluation saying, please motivate, or some courses say low scores without motivation will be removed, and we'll go through the moderation process, and I'll show you how to do that. So just, you can pretty much say that low scores without explanation will be removed. But that's a good question, and we get it asked often. All right.
Can I
so,
ask, Helen, can I ask what's the purpose of these, the questions? Because they talk about emotion and team conflict. I'm just wondering, do they, like, what's the purpose? Is it just to give background to the
No.
lecturer or tutor, or?
Yes, so this.
And at what point do they do these? At the beginning or in the middle or at the end?
Love, yeah, okay. If the project spans over, say, like the whole semester. So at the beginning, the teams will start interacting, and we recommend running Buddycheck twice, like midpoint, just for the team, say in if weeks formed in week 2, say maybe 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, and the students will they will interact, and what someone's not attending the meeting, someone's not doing their work, and the person might be just not even be in touch with the rest of the group. So this evaluation gives the opportunity to the students to voice and flag their concerns and saying, our group is either not traveling very well, or say, yep, everything's good. And the course coordinators, it's important for them, because at the end of the project, it's late. If the team if the team didn't interact, and if the team didn't produce any result at the end of the project, it's really late. It's already like the students are failing.
Mm-hmm.
To prevent this from happening, like midpoint, one evaluation, we recommend it to be sort of administered, and again, the course coordinators will look at the ratings, and we will go over what data the system generates, and see, okay, these groups need attention, on this groups is fine, this groups is fine, like that.
Great. So it gives an opportunity for intervention. Is that right?
Exactly.
So
Yes, correct.
yeah,
Yes.
great. Okay. So if there's conflict or emotions
Yes.
are high or whatever, that you can get in there
Exactly.
and actually
Exactly. And this is
circumvent it.
yes, exactly. And that's why, so those are the criteria that we want our students to evaluate each other on. So one is, say, contributing to the group project. Another one, expected quality. You might create your own. One of them, what's important might be, I don't know, time
Yeah,
limit.
that's
might-
helpful because I was just wondering, like about the conflict when I'm going, oh, is this go towards their rating or is it? But if it's for intervention purposes, I understand why you would have that question. But yeah,
Yeah, so that's this doesn't go anywhere. I mean, the course coordinator will see the results, but there's no
Mhm.
scores, so it's like a screening question. But
Yep.
this scores, peer questions, they would have the scores because they'll be rating. And I will go just literally in maybe 10 minutes. We'll go over the data that's generated, and you will see what will the course coordinator see based on
Right.
these ratings.
Thanks for that.
Sure. Okay, so with the questions, again, think of what you want your students to evaluate each other on, what's important for that particular project. Yeah, so I will keep one team question and I will keep 2 peer questions. Again, all of them are editable, so you can see the question, the pencil icons. And here you will see motivation. Okay, I'll make one not required, not mandatory. I will say one requested and one required. Required means mandatory. And you can see here. So no category means nothing's enabled, motivation requested and motivation required. Peer questions. So those motivations, we always again ask the question, where do these motivations or explanation go? Only for course coordinator. No one else will see it. So those comments only will be visible to your course coordinator. 2 other features that we'll have here, open questions. Let's enable it just so that you will see how it looks. It just basically gives the student, again, just a text box and where they can, and you can, update the wording here. It's if they want to say something that you haven't captured in your questions, this is for them the opportunity to state it here. And I would want us to enable that as well. Again, all those open questions and peer messages are optional. Peer messages, if enabled, will go to the receiving students. It's an interesting feature. Yep. Obviously, a bit controversial in terms that we would first need to teach our students how to provide professional feedback and then enable the peer messages. And you can make it anonymous for receiving student, or you can make it identified. And we actually noticed that if you make it identified, the quality of feedback improves because students are not hiding behind anonymity. So they actually are attempting to be fairer and more professional. Okay, that's that. And advanced options. Yes, Sarah. Yeah, sorry, there were more questions in the chat.
Sorry, just a quick question, just to follow up on that. Just sorry, and I know you've probably said this. I'm just taking it all in, so apologies. I just want to check. So in terms of ticking that peer messages, that is sorry, I just want to confirm in terms of the visibility of the rating versus any text message. So if you are presenting the option for people, sorry, the first question is, do all students get to see the ratings?
Good question.
So that's the first one. And then the second question is, yes, absolutely. It makes sense in relation to if you do make peer messages visible. Yep, sorry, I don't know where I was going with the second question, but the first thing was really just about the ratings. Do all students get to see the ratings?
Good question. Thank you very much. I will, okay. This I will show you. That's an optional feature. If you don't want your students to see anything, they won't see anything. But Buddycheck offers a feature which is called like a student report, and every student will get, it just with one button, they'll get access to this kind of data where they will see the ratings, what they gave to themselves, what they've received, and the team average, and compare themselves to the team average. And they will have the breakdown of, so on the first question, they gave themselves a 5, they received a 5 as an average from all the team members. And this is the team average, so they are performing quite well or better than the team average. And this is the breakdown for every question. And if the PM messages were enabled, they would be somewhere at the bottom. This is what the students will see.
Okay, so there is quite a bit of critical discussion with the students required in order to ensure that, as you mentioned before, is professional, and also how that information and feedback is received, particularly for students who, for whatever reason, and sometimes for reasons outside of their control, haven't been able to contribute in the way they would have liked to.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yep, yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Yes, of course. There were more questions. Let me read the chat. Give it a second. The chat. Yeah. Okay. Delete any of the questions the team conference. Yeah, of course. So you can delete anything. That's those questions are just in the library. You can, you know, add or remove, edit, anything. They will not be removed forever from everyone's view. No, it's just for your particular evaluation. If you click on the edit icon, looks like you can remove questions. Yes, you can edit or remove all of that. No worries at all. Okay, thank you. I've answered. Were there any more questions before I go further? Okay. Right, so where were we? Yeah, we were here. Okay, so I kept 1 team question and 3 peer questions. I enable open questions and peer messages. And again, we will talk about peer messages a bit later. They must be moderated, just in case that some students will receive or may give non-professional feedback. Or if your cohort is very big and it will be impractical for you to moderate all of that, you can just not use it. But obviously there is value in using the peer messages. Factors. After the student will complete evaluation, the system will generate some data, and we will go through that in a sec. So they okay, just keep the minimum factor 0.5 as a maximum 1.1, and I will then show you. It will make more sense. You will understand what these factors mean in just literally a couple of minutes. Remind date. It will be an automatic reminder. For example, the due date is the 19th, and you might want, like, a couple of days before the due date, you might want to put a reminder. And so I'll say like 17th, I'll put a reminder, and only the students who haven't completed evaluation by then will get an email message. Auto-log date is when you're locking the evaluation and no more input is required, because even after the due date, students can still submit evaluation. But when you want to finalize the results, you want to say, okay, that's it, I'm locking it. And now let's click create evaluation. If for whatever reason this button is grayed out, then you go up and check and uncheck the group set. Hopefully it's not grayed out, and you can just click on create evaluation. Trouble with the time in reminder last semester. Does it appear to be? Good question, Jennifer. It was, yes, it wasn't in, the vendor is in Norway. and they said it's now fixed, and the reminders appear in Brisbane time, but last semester it was in whatever Norway time. It's that, so now it's fixed. Thank you for the question. Okay, so the evaluation is there. Before and now, can I ask you just to click on evaluation and just see what you can do in terms of editing? At the top here, you can click edit evaluation. If you find a typo, or if you say, okay, can I add more questions or remove questions? Before the evaluation, okay, evaluation even started, so you cannot add or remove groups. That's why group set is important, because you can add or remove the groups within the group set, but you cannot add or remove individual groups. So for Buddycheck, we recommend using group set, and it's just easier to create anyway. Okay, so let's go back. Another question that we've got asked often: students move between the groups. What do? You fix that in Blackboard, and you can come here and click sync with course, and all this, changes will populate to Buddycheck. Buddycheck and Blackboard are synced once a day, every day. I don't know what time, what they sync, but they do sync once a day. So if changes are, not urgent, then you might want to just leave it to for the two systems to talk to each other. But if it's urgent, you need really to do something like straight then. You can click sync with course, and then all the changes will be synced. Okay. Right, let's do now the evaluation as a student. And this is purely a testing environment. Students will not have to do what we are going to be doing now. So we will need to open an incognito page. If you are on a PC, you just type in the browser incognito and then click on incognito window. If you are on a Mac, I always forget what you need to press to open an incognito window. If someone can advise, and if someone's on a Mac, if you can. So we basically need to open an incognito window.
Control-Shift-N.
Thank you, Nate.
I think it's Command-Shift-N on a Mac.
So we need an incognito window, and we need Blackboard. So just type learn the GQ edu au. And can you just wait? I'll not click anything else here. Do not authenticate, do not do anything. You will just need to click on this tiny here, and then the black screen will appear. And then you would put the username and password, and the username and password are in that Word document. The username is NK, just copy paste it straight from the Word document, please. Then in this case, you won't make any mistake. And the password will be Buddycheck. Buddycheck. And we'll just click sign in. If you got kicked to a previous screen, it means you've entered the credentials wrong. So let me do it again. So sign out. Can we
Sorry, Helen, can you just pause for a minute while we get into incognito mode? I'm still at that stage.
Cool. That's why I'm going back. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So we are now in, let's get into the incognito.
All right, so what happens after the incognito page?
Lovely. You type learn, so you go to Blackboard again. So here, okay, let me close it and let me do it again. So just type learn the GQ edu au. So we need to go to Blackboard. When you go there, you will see this screen. And in this screen, you need to click on this tiny here. Please click here to log in, because we are not logging as the staff, we are logging as a student. And it doesn't work with the student preview. Otherwise, it would be really easy, but it doesn't. So that's why we're going to this lens. Student, of course, don't have to go to incognito window and doing all the things. They will log in as students. And let's then click, please click here. And then we're copy pasting the credentials from the Word document, and which is here, complete evaluation is login details. So username is NK_BBuddy, and password is Buddycheck with the capital B. Wait, sorry. We'll wait. Let me know if you were able to log in. Yeah, thank you, Ree. And can you log in and can you wait for us, please, there? Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry, Helen, I've never used this incognito mode. I'm still a bit stuck. I'm not sure how to do it.
Right. Okay. Can so I
Sorry
need
to hold everyone up.
No worries at all. So for 2 hours so you are in incognito in black mode. Yep.
It looks black, but I don't know if I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So did you type learn.eq?
No, hang on.
Here. You type learn.eq edu.
Doesn't need the alter at the end, right? No.
Yeah. Cool. Yep.
Oh,
It doesn't, but yes.
okay. And then, okay, I think I'm on track. Let me see how
You're
I go.
here, right. And then you click here, this tiny little here. Please click here to log on.
Yep, and use that. Oh, use that one, and then use the username and password you gave us. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Let me try that. Thank you.
Sure.
I'll put my hand up when I'm.
Yeah, lovely. Now, when we're there, hopefully we're there, can you just minimize it for a second? Just minimize it. And we need to go back to Blackboard where we were and do 2 things. Where was I? -50. Give me 1 second. Okay. First, so we'll need to go back to Blackboard and click on the course link on the title of the course, and it will take us back to our Blackboard course. And we need to do things. We need to make it available, which just basically pressing on the red padlock and it will open up. It's one thing. And second, remember the number of your course, because I would want you to get into your own course. That student, the test student, is enrolled in all the courses. So you might want to complete your own evaluation. So 2 things: make the course available, red padlock up, and remember the number of the course. Cool. After you've done that, go back to your incognito window and type your number, because you will have all the 50 courses, and get into your course. Let us wait. Can I have a show of hands if you are in as a student? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Jessica. So we're clicking on the red padlock, one thing, and we are remembering the number of your course and logging in as a student to that particular course. So again, in Blackboard, just type that number. Thank you, Lisa. I'm in a student. Yeah, can you refresh, Paul, can you refresh the page, please? Yeah, because you logged in before you unlock, you open the course, which you can refresh Ultra, and then you should be in. Yeah, so Judith, if you go back to Blackboard, just if you minimize this window and go back to Blackboard and click on the padlock top right hand corner, it's red, was red. Now, if you click, it becomes open, and then yeah, and then just remember the number and you will then get it. All right. Can you Nathan's here with us, so if you having trouble, can you put this in the chat and Nathan will sort you out? Okay. So, and then let's click on the course and let's go to our assessment, and let's go to our assessment folder, and let's click on the peer evaluation link. And this is what the students will see. And they will just click on the big blue button, begin evaluation. And yep, so this is exactly what we will see. If they're not sure how to complete it, they can click show me how first, and then this small gift will play, showing them what they need to do. And then let's click on start. And this is our team question. So I'm strongly agree here, not quite agree here. And yeah, I'm very satisfied overall, that's fine. And I'll click next. So this is the training course. That's why, and our students are called Buddychecks, Buddycheck, Buddycheck. In the actual course, the student will actually see the names of the team members so that they know whom they are rating. Oh, the Buddycheck is not activated for this course.
Yeah, that's what mine says as well, Helen.
Are
Sorry.
you in your own, are you sure in your, the numbers that maybe, because the same student is enrolled in all the 50 courses. If you're going into a wrong course,
I think I'm in the right one, but hang on a minute.
then no one has set it in another course. That's why you are not able to get in. Yeah, so I'm in the right as far as I can see. So Jessica, what's your course number, please? If you're in, you can please keep on going and complete the evaluation as a student. I am just checking Jessica number 14. Give me 1 second. Let me jump into number 14. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So, you might have done it. Oh no, activate. Okay, let's click activate Buddycheck for this course. That's all good now. Can you now go to a student and see if it works? Just clear. Are you all good? Can you, in course number 6, does yours also say that's not activated or?
Yeah,
something?
that's right. It says it's not activated.
Right.
I got
number
I got the same issue as well.
Right. Okay, cool. Okay, let me do number 6. So we number 6. Yeah. One sec. Yeah, okay. So that's big orange button, so we need to click that. So number 6 done. And what was the another?
09, Helen.
9, sure. 9. Give me one sec. Number 9.
And 27.
Yeah. give me- I thought I said, my apologies. I thought I said like press to activate. I might have missed it. Yeah, sure. All right, number 7. So number
27.
7, sure.
27, please.
27, sure. Yeah. And if you're already in the incognito window, just please refresh the page. You don't have to go out. 27. One sec. 27. $27 should be all right.
Sorry.
27 is okay. So
Okay.
it's all activated, all good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, lovely. Right. Judith, what number 23? Give me one sec. 23. 23. Okay, there are no students. Right. Probably because you haven't given me one sec. So probably there it says no students in the evaluation. So what I'll do quickly, I'll jump into your users and groups. Okay, then you won't be able to complete it because we've selected. Can you just so Judith, if you can then watch now what we're doing, you won't be able to complete it because the selection of the groups is already locked. So I can't, hold on, give me a sec. Maybe
No worries.
groups. Oh no, I'll be able to. Give me a sec. Group 1, edit group. Let me add users. Okay. Let me add, yeah, should be all right. And I click submit. And this is what we do. Actually, it's a good demo of what's happening when students move the groups or new students enroll in the course and you want to add them. So you fix the groups in Blackboard and you then go to Buddycheck and click sync with the course.
So sorry, did I just miss a step of adding?
Yes. You created the groups, but you didn't add students into the groups.
No worries.
So, and you'll go there and sync with course. And then the students, yep. So you should be able now, if you refresh your page, you should be able now to get into as your student. Cool. Right. So we were here. Where is my meeting? Okay, so mine was 50. So quickly complete evaluation as my student.
Apologies, Helen, but I have to leave, but I will
That's
catch up on the recording and I'm very keen to
Yep.
play with this further. Thank you so much.
No worries. No worries. All right. I might have clicked submit, so I might have completed the evaluation. So that's all good. Can you give me a show of hands if you've completed as students?
Could I just,
Sure.
keeps coming up on mine as saying that I can't access, what does it say actually? Hang on a minute. It says you can't access the course right now. I think I missed a part where you go back onto your own Blackboard and activate
Yes,
it.
unlock it. Yeah. So
So
what was your course? What was
27.
27? Sure. Let me.
So I'm back on my home on my Blackboard at the
Yeah,
Buddy
it's locked. Yeah.
locked. How do you unlock it?
Just here up the top.
Oh.
Red padlock.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
No worries.
Should be all right.
Yeah, cool. If you unlock it and then refresh the page in Incognito, then
Okay.
it will show. All right. Okay, what's watching? Okay, Jennifer Grant. So Paul, if you would want to sort of complete your evaluation as a student, be good. If not, just keep on watching. Thank you, Jennifer. So the students, of course, would not have to go in Incognito and they will just authenticate as students, click on the course link, click on the folder, click on the peer evaluation, and they will be able to complete it. Pretty straightforward. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, no, lovely. Okay. All right. Let us then go after. So after students complete the evaluation, you will be able to see the results. So if you go back then to your courses, and let me go to mine. Okay, so I was saying after students have or completing their evaluations, in Buddycheck. So if you go back to Blackboard and then click on the evaluation link, and click on the exact evaluation, you will see your completion rate. So it's just one student have completed out of so many students. So it will just be, fill in the completion rate. And you can see that the status is open. And if you click on the link, you won't see a lot of data, but you'll see something. And I will go into actual course and just show you what it looks in the actual course. Right, so let me go. Okay, let me just first go through this. So you will see here, you have here scores, messages, and groups. In the scores, you will see the whole list of students in a row. It sometimes might not be very practical to look at it, but still, you will have the data. So there's averages and factors. So average is an average that the student 2 got from the rest of the students for all the questions. So someone gave them a 5, someone 3, someone 2, So the average is 4.67. And there is a formula that translates this average into the factor. If you've been using the old system, group peer assessment, it was called PAF, peer assessment factor. We will go, so you won't really care about those numbers if you're doing it formatively because there are no marks associated. But if you're doing it summatively, these marks can be transferred to grade center. And we will go over that a bit further in today's training. So this is the step scores. Then messages. If there were peer messages, they would get populated here. And if there are open questions, all the results would be here. And groups. This is probably where you would want to go. You will see the list of groups here. And those, there's no labels, but I will now jump into the actual course. So I'm going to groups. You will see, you know, all the whole groups with the group average and those labels. The labels there are, if you go to more info, there are 8 of the labels. And you might want to pay attention to some of them or all of them. Let me now jump to my presentation, and that. And we'll discuss some of the points, like how to ensure that your students are completing evaluation, etc. And we'll go over that. Okay. The results. So you will have the averages and the factors, and you will have the labels. Okay, let me go through the labels one by one. There are just 8 of them. One of the labels is bypass, and the definition is there is 0 difference in group. Almost always, it's when everyone gives everyone a 5. So this can be an indication of a very functional group, that the group is traveling nicely, or at least they were able to agree to give each other a 5, or they're not ready yet to give an honest and open evaluation. Possible intervention, it compare the observations in class or in workshops and discuss some professional standards with the group. I had one actually dentistry course, and it was amazing. 100% of the students gave everyone each other's a 5. And I was talking to course coordinator and said, did you tell them that to do this? And no, it's somehow it just happened. So this is bypass. Under is a student rates themselves at least 1 point lower than the other team members rate them. So the students basically lack confidence, or they're very modest, etc. Possible intervention is you can send the report to the student, and these actually are screenshots from an actual course. So it's not a theoretical situation. It actually happens quite often. So you can send them the report, and they will see that they rated themselves lower, that the team values them more than they value themselves. Low label is generated when a student overall rating is lower than 2.5. So the student is lower achiever. There might be like really different, like some family circumstances or some personal circumstances that prevent students from participating as much as they would want to. Or the group is rating that person too harshly. So in either case, you might want to, get in touch with them, send an email, or talk to them and ask what support they require. High is the other way around. Student is a high achiever, and their rating is over 3.5 and more than half a point higher than the overall rating for the team. So that's really no intervention needed, or you can even reward them saying, well done, keep on doing the great job. Skew. The definition that student is causing skew results, most often they're giving themselves a 5 and they are rated. So this student gave themselves a 5 and rated everyone 1. That might actually be like the honest situation that students is doing all the work for everyone, or the students really is not being honest, and so you might want to check and verify this with the other team members' explanations. So this is where it's very important so that the explanations are given and read. And then we will go over moderating, so you can edit the scores. Tension. So you can see that this student gave themselves a 5 and gave that student a 1. And the other way around, that student gave themselves a 5, and that first student a 1. So that's clearly the tension between these two students. So, and a couple of interventions, compare the results from other team members, read explanations, mute or edit unjustified scores, and discuss with the group what's happening and what kind of interventions or support they need. Conflict, similar with attention. Student rated another team member at 2 or less, while the median rating is 3 or more. So this student was rated 3 and 2, while the average is 4 and above. So again, compare the results with your observations from the tutorials or practicals, and read explanations, mute the scores, discuss with the group. Okay, now let's jump into moderating results. So we are in our Blackboard in the Buddycheck evaluation. And and we are in the groups tab. So not the scores, we're in the groups tab. So if you can then expand a group and click on edit scores, this is how you can edit the scores. You pretty much click on a score and it will be crossed out. That's why the vendors call it muting. So it's not deleted from the system altogether, but it's muted and it's excluded from the evaluation. So the ratings are readjusted. If we can do that. And here, all the explanations, it's very nicely, they're collated. So you can read. Nathan, did you complete it for me? I think you did. Yeah, so let me give you a minute to edit the scores. So you would be in the groups tab here, and you will expand a group and click edit scores and click on a score you want to remove, and then click save changes, and that changes are saved. You won't have much data because we've completed just as one student, but yeah, you're getting the gist out of it. Any questions here? Okay, there was a question. Oh, do you need to leave? Yeah, okay, sorry, Ben, we'll watch the final remaining. So there's a lot to consider, particularly to ensure students have a positive rather than the negative experience. Of course, this is challenging with a large class, but with group projects still form a valuable learning opportunity. Agree. Yep. That's okay. Right. So this is what's concerned editing the scores and moderating the results. And again, here, if you include the line in your instructions to the evaluation saying that low scores without explanations would be moderated out. This is your, justification that you really need to motivate, explain the low scores. Okay. And if there were any messages, they will appear here. And you basically would need to click. So if there was a message, okay, there is a message. So thanks for all the work you did. That's a positive message. But if the message is negative, you can just click on mute. And again, the message will be like crossed out. It will still stay in the system. It will not be released with that report that I showed you, a PDF report. And you can discuss unprofessional feedback with the student who gave that unprofessional feedback. So everything stays in the system. It's just muted. Okay. Right, let's go further. After you've moderated the scores, and if it is a summative evaluation, you might want to publish the grades. Because the evaluation is still open, we might want to go and lock it. So if you go more and click lock evaluation, it will be locked for everyone. So students will not be able to add any more feedback. And those two options now become available. You can publish the grades and publish average grades. What's the difference? Bear with me for a second. So if we publish average grades, this Likert will be sent to the grade center. Let me go to exemplar course. Here we go. So in one of the courses, they completed the group work, and the students, like one of the team, let me very quickly delete all the columns, not to confuse you. Okay, so the whole group, there are 6 students, they received, say, 30 out of 35. In Buddycheck, oh, sorry. We have some data and we want to send the averages. And I will go here and click publish average grades. And it will create a grade center column. I will click create a new grade, and I would just give it a peer component. And I will click publish average grades. And a new grade center column is created here. So you have the group project column, you have the peer component column, and then you would basically create the total column and add these two together. This is one option, how you can make the results equitable. In this scenario, normally on the marking criteria, you have a separate criterion associated with the peer evaluation. And in this scenario, you might just want to pass this average and sort of add them together. In this case, it's good that it's like worth, like, say, 5% or 10% or equal, you know, or multiples of 5, because we're having the Likert out of 5. This is one scenario. The second scenario, and I'll take questions after I finish explaining, you might want to pass the factor. And what it does, I will then, it's called then publish grades. And it then pulls all the columns from grade center and say, which one do you want adjusted? And I would say this. And what Buddycheck does, it pulls the grade of the group, and this is the factor, and it multiplies the factor by the grade and gives them an adjusted grade. So these students, the factor is above 1, which means they were doing a lot of work, and the factor is high. So their group result is higher than the rest of the group. And if a student, let me go to another one. And if the student were not doing a lot of work, let's do this one, for example. grades. Yeah, so and if this student, for example, wasn't doing like a good job, so their factor is below 1 and multiplied by this overall group result, they will get a lower mark than the rest of the team. So this is how it works. And remember at the beginning, I asked to showed you those factors. This is where you cap them. You can say the minimum is 0.5. So the lowest that the student can get is half of this of all the marks, and the highest is 1.1. So we don't really want, again, it's recommendations. You can, if you want, you can not cap it and it can go even higher and higher. And some of the courses don't cap it at 0.5, they get 0. If they don't participate, they get 0 marks. Up to you. Recommendation 0.5, 1.1. All right, this is the most, like, of all the Buddycheck, which is pretty self-intuitive and self-explanatory. This is a bit the hardest part, the passing the grades. I'm ready for the questions, if there are any. What do you guys normally do with your course? Do you, like, engineering courses usually use the path or the factor and multiply them by the group work? In a lot of like humanities courses and has and have they actually pass the Likert average and add it together. So what do you guys normally do? Yes, Jessica.
Hi, Helen. This is a really good question. I've had conversations with colleagues about this this factor and the multipliers and what should be the highest value. The conversation that we've had is that if we award, say, an assignment 30 out of 35, and that's our evaluation based on the criteria of how good this assignment is, should a student then, even if they've put in more effort, say their factor is 1.1 or what have you, they end up getting a higher mark than what the paper was actually given. So we've kind of thought, should we cap it? Should we cap the factor at 1? The maximum mark you can get is the score that the paper's actually given. And then if you don't put in as much effort or your group marks you down, then you get a lower mark. But no one can actually get higher than the mark that was given for that paper.
Right, and the system actually, when you are publishing the grades, it has, there is a checkbox saying that the score will not exceed the maximum grade. So you are like safe in awarding, in capping the factor higher than 1, because this, give me a second, I'm publishing it. So it's not average grades. Give me just 1 second. So publishing grades. So there is a checkbox here. It says the grade cannot exceed max points. So if a student got 35 out of 35 and they got a higher factor, they still will maximum receive 35. So you're
okay.
safe.
So that's what will, even though it says the new grade here is actually higher. Oh, I see.
Out of 35. Out of
Oh,
35. Yeah.
right. Okay. I was thinking more along the lines of, see how the paper there is marked 30 out of 35.
35. Yep.
Right. That no student should actually get more than 30 because this is what the paper is worth. This is what the paper's been graded.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So then, right.
So could we cap the factor at 1?
Sure, of course.
And I guess it was just that there were some in this conversation with colleagues that had used this process before, where those with a higher factor would get a higher mark than what the paper was actually given. So some of us had used that, but then others were saying, well, if this paper's worth 30 out of 35, why would
You
we
can't get-
give some students
Mm.
more than that
Right.
mark?
Yes, yes. It's for if you have the peer component. So would you have a peer component as well as a part of it as separately?
Mm.
So if
Yeah, I understand that. And so that was sort of with the average, it sort of got added on to because there was an
Yep.
extra
So,
component for
yeah.
the peer. So yeah, I
mm.
think that makes sense. But if we're using the factor like this, it just means that an individual can get a higher mark than
Correct.
what that
Yeah,
paper got
yeah.
on a rubric.
Yes, yes. Then in this case, you might just want the do the averages and add them together.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Right, have been using the points. I have 5% separate the grade that's awarded. Yep, that's the case. So in this case, you're publishing the averages, not the factor, but you're publishing averages and then adding them together. Yep, cool.
So if you use the factors, could you have 0 for the highest and then negative? So if you wanted it to be 30,
Yeah.
and everybody who contributed to it well, they got their 30, but if you made it negative for the low performers, then they didn't get as many marks as the 30.
Correct. So they're capping you. So when you do the cap, so you can cap it as at 1. Yep. And the minimum, so you don't have to go negative.
But is the 1 equivalent to not adding anything though? So could you make
Correct.
that 0, or 1 is nothing?
No. 1 is if the student gets say 30 out of 30, it will
Yeah.
be multiplied by 1 and they will still get their 30.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. If you cap it to 0, then
Yeah.
they'll get 0.
Oh,
If
okay.
they
So it has
didn't
to be
contribute,
1.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be 1. So between 0 and 1.
Okay, and what's the lowest you can go on the negative?
You can go, can we go negative? No. I think we capped it because as per UQ policy, we can't really go negative. So the lowest is 0, which means they're getting a 0 marks for their group project overall.
Yeah, okay.
Which is like quite harsh, but some of the yeah.
But if they didn't contribute at
if
all,
they didn't,
why should they get the mark?
true.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Rather saying that I think the Buddycheck is more to recognize low contribution rather than rewarding normal contributions. Well, unless you just make it really like cap it at 1.1. So those ones who actually contributed more, they will get a higher than the rest of the group.
Yeah, and I think we need to take in the graduate attributes into consideration too. Like, what are we trying to get your reward students for? And sometimes it is that group, the ability to work on something as a group is part of your criteria.
Yeah, agree. Cool. All right. So this is that. So we've moderated the results. We've published the grades, and the last thing we can do, we can click and release results. And release results, actually, it's not the grades. And I've been talking to the vendor and saying, can you please rename it? It's those student reports that I showed you, those ones. So to release those, you will go to release results. And those students' reports will be released. But notice that in many of the courses, reflection and self-reflection is the part of the group project. So in this case, these reports really have proven to be very important and handy for the students to write their reflections. Right. And again, on the report, so they won't see any of the comments to each individual grade. This will only go to course coordinators. They will only see, if enabled, those peer messages and their overall results, such as, what they given, what they gave, what they received, and the team average with a breakdown by question. So this is the reports. Third question. given the ECP that they will be removed from the group if they do not contribute after they have been contacted by the course coordinator if there is an issue. That's another good practice. Yep. Cool. All right. Okay. What else do I have? So we've moderated the results, edited the scores, edited peer messages. Yeah. So this is what we've discussed. So recommended 0.1 or 0 if they didn't contribute. Include in ECP that low marks with no justification will be removed. Yep, so those explanations are enabled by default, but can be disabled if not required. And yeah, so the purpose of Buddycheck is to provide data for course coordinators to make informed decisions. So it does not have to dictate your choices. You decide what you still want to do. And the other data sources that you might want to, use to verify what Buddycheck has shown you is the student comments and explanations, tutor feedback, data from other platforms if you're using, say, discussion boards or Teams, etc., data from interventions, and again, data from formative Buddycheck evaluation that can also somehow inform your decisions for the summative evaluation. So formative is basically, so no results, just for you to offer some support. And summative, yes, you will need the grades to be really just and justified so that the assessment will be equitable. Yes, we've done that. Yep. And I will send all the slide deck to you, releasing results. And this actually will disable editing the scores. So if you haven't moderated, do not release the results. So release results has to be the very, very final step. And by results, again, we mean the student reports. And I'll have to get in touch with the vendor again. And they're actually very responsive. I like working with Buddycheck vendor. Right. And this is what we've seen, the results report the student. That's pretty much it. We piloted Buddycheck last year. This year, it's already fully deployed, available to all the UQ courses who would want to use it. And as we mentioned before, we recommend having Buddycheck, even if you don't have, when you have any group project, even if there are no marks associated, just again, to understand the dynamics of the group. If you have any troubles and something's not showing, something not, behaving not in the way it should be, I mean, not the students, but the systems, Blackboard and Buddycheck, email help@eLearning. There are workshops. We're very happy to run some presentations for your school, like designated or some, workshop I've just had yesterday with one of the schools. We had a small group of like 4 course coordinators, and we worked on configuring Buddychecks in their courses. There are always consultations available. There are 6 of us advisors, and we are very happy to help set it up. And there are, of course, guides on everything that I've just covered in today's session. This is what I wanted to share with you guys. So let me stop sharing, and if there are more, comments or any thoughts or yes, of course, yeah, yeah, you can of course have one-on-one. Please book a consultation with us, and we can help set it up this semester or next semester, of course. Thanks so much. It's a great tool. It is really great tool, and it's actually very easy to use. Very large course, yeah. Large courses, definitely. So we piloted some Buddycheck with one of the course was like 550 students, work the same way as for smaller courses. So that's all good. Yep. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, please stay in touch, and all the best with the semester 1.